Hi, I'm Robert Mason. Today I'm going to be talking about renewable resources, primarily electric vehicle technology, as opposed to gasoline engines. I'll talk a little bit about the pollution from gasoline engines. I'll talk about the economic benefit for individual consumers, and then I'll also talk about the economic benefit for the United States as a nation, how we can benefit from developing electric vehicle technology. So, to start out with, the Union of Concerned Scientists estimates that vehicle emissions produce a third of carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxides in the atmosphere. Now, a third may not seem like that much, but when you're talking about toxic gases floating around in the air that we breathe, that's actually quite a bit. And what's astounding about that fact is that it's controllable. It's something that we, as consumers, choose to perpetuate by continuing to use gasoline engines. The majority of our transportation relies upon gasoline engines, and it's somewhat outdated in terms of the technology that's available to us today. Um, Hybrid cars are something that are working their way into the mainstream. Hybrid cars are one of the most efficient alternate means of transportation today because what they do is they incorporate gasoline technology, which is still the standard. It incorporates that with electric vehicle technology. So electricity is created by the car as it's driving from something like from braking power. Generates electric power and charges a battery that helps allow the car to go. So electric vehicles are it's a technology that's relatively new in terms of being available to consumers, because what it does is relies on a battery, which is often rechargeable, to allow the car to power itself, as opposed to gasoline, which it doesn't use. And so what that does is create a car that is much more eco-friendly, but also harder to charge, harder to maintain, because there's no infrastructure for the car to be able to function. So, this is an astounding fact here. According to the United States Energy Information Administration, there's only 25 years worth of oil reserves left available to us right now. That's 25 years is extremely quick in terms of how long gasoline engines have been available, in terms of the longevity of a human life. 25 years is nothing. And to think that in 25 years our entire means of transportation will be completely gone is somewhat astounding and dumbfounding in the way that we're not developing electric vehicle technology at a more rapid pace. To think that our entire world will shut down in 25 years if we don't continue to develop technology that's viable as an alternative to gasoline engines is we're walking headfirst into our own demolition. So, as as a society who wants to perpetuate its own economic benefits and the things that we've been working towards for as long as humans have been around, it's in our own interests to really jump at establishing an infrastructure to help people become, I would say, to help people rely better on electric vehicles. It's the wave of the future. Okay, so to establish these energy charging stations, which will eventually make gasoline stations obsolete, it's easier and cheaper to transport electricity than it is to transport gasoline. For gasoline, you need to dig underground piping, and what that does is destroy natural resources and destroy the environment while requiring large pipes that really they destroy the world. We don't want that. So what electricity is going to do is going to allow people to get their power in a much more efficient and better for the environment way. I should think of another way to put that. Right. So the UK's Office for Low Emission Vehicles talks about how their model for the future of electric vehicles is going to be supported by the government, because what they're realizing is that stimulation in the private sector helps the people, and the people work for the government. The government works for the people, right? So stimulation from electric vehicles will help everybody. And they want to funnel money into the private sector to allow this technology to become more viable for the UK, because what they realize is the wave of the future is electric vehicles, and they want to be in on it. They want to headline it, which is also what the United States should do. The United States is not taking as active of an approach as a lot of different places in the European Union are. The European Union's gas prices are a lot more expensive than ours, and so they're getting hit the hardest. And that's forcing them to consider alternatives in a way that we should also be considering. Um, so it'll eventually make us as a nation rich if we continue to invest in these technologies, because it puts a lot of people to work building these infrastructures, these charging infrastructures, and it also helps perpetuate our own government, because in the event that 25 years goes by and we're not prepared for the collapse of the gasoline system, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. And if we've put our energy into establishing an electric vehicle grid that allows consumers to effectively use their electric vehicles every day, we're going to be the forerunners in this technology, and that's exactly what we want to be. So thank you for listening. I hope you'll all support electric vehicle technology in the future.